YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on way too early top 12 running backs. Now, listen, guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. So, guys, before we get started, the way I do my rankings, I'm not going off 2023 rankings. I'm not going to go and say, well, who finished number one? Okay, that's the number one guy for this year. And who finished number two? That's the number two guy. Okay, well, this guy had 8 great games last year, so I'm going to move him up into my new rankings. No, I'm going off of projections and also what you did in the opportunity that I believe that you're going to get going forward. So I'm projecting and I'm using all the analytics together to make my assumption. If you don't like it, guys, go in the comment section and say, TD, this is crazy. No hard feelings. If you like it, then go show support, whatever you can, guys, to help the algorithm out. Let's begin. And also, I'm going to go and look at a little bit of stats. I don't like going off of stats, but I am going to show you stats. And guys, forgive me for being hoarse. I've been sick, but I needed to do this video. And also, guys, I do want to do a video on far as players that I hit on last year, the players that I missed. But let me know in the comment section if you want that type of video, because I don't want to do it and it only get 50 or 60 views per se. Now, if I get 50, 60 views on the rankings, I don't care. That's just how it goes. But if I do make a video about guys that I hit on and missed on, and it only get a few views, it could be a waste of my time. But anyway, guys, let me go to the comment section and give a little shout outs to the people who are in early. I see my boy Zach in the house. What's going on, Zach? I see D Lion in the house. What's popping with you, bro? Yes, sir. Okay, so let's get going. The first guy, guys, that I believe, well, actually, I'm gonna go 12 from 1. I'm not gonna start with the number 1 guy. I'm gonna start from 12 to 1. So my number 12 guy is gonna be Devonta Aine. Yes, guys, Devonta Aine. Now, the reason why I believe that Devonta Aine is a top 12 running back, guys, is mainly because of him being in a top 5 offense. I like chasing nice systems other than chasing great running backs. I don't want a running back that's getting 100% of the carries, but that offense is garbage. Kind of like Derrik Henry last year. Derrik Henry played in the garbage offense. Now, some weeks he hit, some weeks he didn't. But I'm not chasing that. And if his ADP and his value fall to me at the right pick, then I'll take him. But I'm not going to chase that. But Devonta Aine, I kind of go up above certain guys and pick Devonta Aine as my number 12 running back rankings going into 2024 right now before the draft happens, because, guys, he's very explosive. I love explosive running backs, guys that can score you 30 point, 40 point, 30 point, 40 point, can win you a week. I'd rather have guys that win weeks. I don't want no safe guy. Ain't nothing happen over here safe. And you ain't making no money in no stocks being safe. You ain't making no money being on a safe job per se. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying like a safe job where you don't get hurt, but I mean like a job where it's easy. You just go to work and you ain't got to do nothing. You ain't gonna make no money. You got to go out and take a risk. So Devonta Aine, guys, I'm willing to draft him over guys that's gonna give me steady points. I'd rather Devonta Aine give me 33 and then I get a 40, then 40, and then 8, then 40. I like those 40-point games. So I love Devonta Aine, guys. Make sure that you can target him at the right ADP. Now, as we get closer to drafting time, his value would be more determined, right? We'll know exactly where to get him. Right now, I think the second round is a little too early, but if you have to turn from the second going into the third, then I think that's a good pick. But I don't want to take him as my number 2 overall player if I don't have to. That's a little early to me. All right, guys, I want to look at some things on Devonta Aine. So I'm going to do this real quick. Let's go look up how he played this year. Okay, let's go. Let's see where Devonta Aine at right here. These are the top 12. This is 4 PPR. Shout out to Fantasy Pros. They got a really good website where you can go look up guys. All right, guys. I probably missed his name. Let's go here. There you go, right there. Okay, let's go look at his breakdown. And let's go look at game log. I want to see game log. There we go. Okay. So look at here. Second week, First week. So right now, that's why I always tell y'all, don't get off your players too early. Week 1, he didn't do nothing. He ain't gonna be getting no word. No, I'm still keeping my players. I do it more in quadrants. Every 4 weeks, I might drop a player, but I'm not gonna drop him too early. But then look at this week 3 right here. He won you the week. 24, then 20. Then he got hurt. Then we had the bye week. Then came back slow. He got nicked up a little again. And then they didn't play him against the Jets. And then he came back out and he had 22 points. And then they break it along slow. This is because of the injury. They didn't want to use him too much. And then around about week 17, they started giving more work again. Mm-hmm. So this year, going forward with Raheem Mostert being hurt, I think you're going to see more of this right here. 47, 24, 20. They're going to be giving him more work. Let's see how many carries he was getting. He had, 8 carries and got 24 points. That's explosive. And he's going to be catching passes. He had 3 catches, 4 catches. So this is the type of guy that I want on my team. All right, let's go on to the next guy. All right, my next guy, my number 11 guy, guys, is going to be Derrik Henry. Yes, you might say, well, T, you just sit there and said that you don't want no Derrik Henry because he was played on a bad offense. Well, guess what? He's not going to be on the Tennessee Titans next year. He's going to be on a team that's going to be probably going for a Super Bowl, which I like a running back that's 30 years old, but he's playing on a team where he don't have to put the team on his back. All he's got to do is get green zone touches and rush for touchdowns within 5 yards and in. So that's why I want a running back like Derrik Henry. I'm not chasing a running back unless he's young for him to get a bunch of carries and give me 80-yard touchdowns. Guys, the honey spot of a running back that can make him top 5 or top 12 is his rushing touchdowns, the attempts that he get in the green zone, which is the 5-yard and in. So that's why I want Derrik Henry. I think he could get 10 to 15 touchdowns on a good team. If you go to the Eagles, If you go to the Dallas Cowboys, Any good team that's like a playoff team and they get Derrik Henry, guys, he's going to lead the league probably in rushing touchdowns. He still can score from 5 yards in better than any other running back in the game. Now, is he going to go and give you 30 carries and give you 180 yards? Maybe not. Probably not. But can he go and score for you and lead the league in rushing touchdowns, which is a top 12 guaranteed fantasy football running back? James Conner done it 2 or 3 years in a row where he didn't lead in rushing. One year he had 3.7 yards per carry, but still was a top 5 running back. Why? Because he had 15 to 16 rushing touchdowns. I believe that Derrik Henry can do that. That's why I'm on Derrik Henry. All right, let's go look at that. Well, I'm not gonna look at Derrik Henry's stats because I think they don't give him justice playing on the Tennessee Titans. That's not what he's going to do this year. He's going to go on a team where it's going to be easy for him because they're going to have to worry about a quarterback and a wide receiver. You don't have to worry about no quarterback and a wide receiver on Derrik Henry's team. All right. I see you, Dustin. I see you. All right, guys, let's move on to my number 10 guy. And my number 10 guy is going to be Travis Etienne. Now, listen, I'm not a huge Travis Etienne guy. I think he is more of a satellite back, but it doesn't mean that he can't be a top 12 guy. Satellite backs can be top 12 all the time. He's small, so he can be hurt. He is volatile. But I got to get a guy to respect. The guy is very explosive. I believe the Jacksonville offensive play calling, which I'm not going to say it's offensive play calling, but their offensive scheme is going to get better. They can't count on Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is a good player, but he's not an alpha number one. Give it to him and lead the league in receiving yards. So they're going to get more weapons or build a different system where Travis Etienne could be relied on. I think they're going to give him goal line touches, not all goal line touches, but they're going to give him goal line touches, and he's going to catch 5 or 6 passes a game. That's what he does really well, and he's explosive. So he can score from anywhere and any spot at any time on the field. So Travis Etienne, guys, if he fall to you at the right ADP, you take him. I'm not saying he's the best running back since sliced bread. He can do this and do that. It don't matter. We trying to win here. So this guy's getting the work. He's getting the value. He's up for a contract probably this year. They want to get him on a deal. They might franchise tag him and just wear his body down, and that's what they do with running back. That's why running backs want different type of deals because they use you up and then they say you too old or you had too many carries or you've been nicked up too much. So Travis Etienne, guys, should be a top 5 guy in catching the ball outside the backfield. So in 4 PPR, that's a great guy to target. Also, he's very explosive. So 1 carry can win you the week. He can be having a bad game, right? He could be having a bad game, and in the 4th quarter, he busts a 70-yard run. Bam, then he's a top 12 running back. So that's why I like Travis Etienne. Again, I'm not going to look at the stats. I think it bores us all. So I'm not going to go look at the stats. I'm just going to move on to my next guy. Let me get a little bit of water, guys. Okay. My next guy is an older running back, but I like the way he's used, especially on this type of offense, and it's James Conner. Yes, guys, James Conner is my number 9 overall running back as rankings. And the reason why I'm ranking him number 9, guys, he gets the honey touches. Remember, I'm not saying I'm the only one that says anything about honey touches. A lot of people call it green zone touches. But the honey touches is where a guy come in and he get a fall-in touchdown. Then he got like 8-9 points. And then another running back who got 40-50 yards, they ain't got to be like 5 points. But just because he's getting all the green zone touches and he got a quarterback like Kyler Murray who can get outside the pocket and make plays, the defense got a spot on Kyler, so that's going to open up for James. And even when he didn't have Kyler Murray, James Conner still was balling out. So I like James Conner for a nice niche there. Do they draft another running back? They probably do. But it don't matter. James Conner still going to get those green zone touches. I will put a guy up above a lot of guys if he's getting all the green zone touches. It's not about how many attempts anymore from running backs because we are in an era of split running back fields. So the most important stat that you should be looking at is green zone. That's for members right there, but I'm giving y'all the gas. If a guy is getting 90% above when the team gets to the green zone, when they hand the ball off, just like Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco is not some top back. I mean, he's a good player. He's won Super Bowls. But when they get in the red zone, they're going to use him or they're going to let Pat throw it. So if you got great odds of him getting a rushing touchdown, especially on an easy matchup. Same thing with James Conner. So, guys, I love James Conner as a goal line green zone guy, and I'm taking him off the board this year at the right ADP. Right? So if I had a guy like Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra and Trey McBride, and I had all these other guys, and I got James Conner as my first running back off the board, I think that's great. I think that's a great 0 RB strategy. He's a great 0 RB candidate because he's not going to be drafted too early because he's older and he had cancer and he's going to go down. And listen, he don't have to play. And another thing I want to tell y'all, guys don't have to play the whole year or all 16 games to be good. I don't look for any player to be healthy for me all 16 outside of my quarterback. Let me tell you why. Because, guys, in fantasy, you need guys to hit for you at the right time. You don't need them to go hit every single week. So when I get into my 4th quadrant, which is my fantasy football playoffs, that's when I look at who's doing what. That's the biggest time for me. I don't need you to be going off early in the season. I mean, that's fine. That's good. I got to get there, but I don't need to count on you every week. We are so busy where we discount players because they don't play every single week. They're not going to do that. Just like in the NBA, everybody don't play every single week. Guys play probably about 12, 13 games, but if it's the right 12, 13 games, that's good. And if they don't play for a certain game, then move on and get another running back. That's why I'm 0 RB. I'm not counting or depending on anybody. It's just like a relationship. You can't count and depend on nobody to be there for you 100% of the time. You got to defend for yourself. And then if they can help you and they fit into your mode, that's fine. That's great. That's awesome. So I don't want to put all. That's why I don't draft CMC as the number 1 overall pick, because if he go down, I don't want to be making a video. Oh my God, CMC let me down, man. That's the reason why I lost. Oh my God, CMC. We do that all the time. I don't care who go down. I don't care who. I don't care if Lamar, and I'm not gonna wood Lamar Jackson go down. Ain't no player gonna hurt my team because I don't draft for that. I don't draft for no one player to win me a league. All right, let's go on. Let's move on, guys. I see you, Isaac. What's up, Dollar Bill, bruh? Yes, sir. All right, my number 8 guy is Rashad White. Yes, guys, Rashad White. Now, listen, I wasn't on no Rashad White. I was fading him last year. I made videos on fading him. And this is one of the guys that proved me wrong. He started off slow, but once he got going, he hit. That's again going into my method of any running back is okay. You don't ever know. Any running back can hit any week, and any running back can have a big year. So I didn't think this offense was going to cater to him, but they did. He caught a lot of passes, even when he wasn't playing rushing really great or having great rushing games. He still played very well. I believe Rashad White is going to always catch a lot of passes. So this guy in a full PPR league is a top 12 guy. In standard, he might be a guy that I might wait to get. I might not get him as a top 12 guy. But in full PPR, this guy is great. Baker Mayfield checks the ball down because Baker Mayfield is not a scrambling quarterback out per se. I mean, he can move out the pocket here and there to make plays, but he's looking to get the ball out quick. And Rashad White is a residual of that, of him getting the ball out quick. So I like Rashad White, guys, to be a 70 catch guy in PPR league. Running backs are going to be catching the ball more and more and more and more. I'm telling y'all that now. Hybrids are coming. That's why I talk about hybrids. Guys, it's going to be nothing in 2 to 3 years. Running backs, it's going to be 7 to 8 running backs to catch 100 passes. The quarterback is going to get the ball out. Rushing the passer, those values going to go down. Like if you're a pass rusher, you're not going to really be able to get to the quarterback because the scheme is going to be quick screen. So all the money is going to be funneled to the safeties and the corners. I said what I said. The money position now is going to be the corners and the safeties because it's going to be tackling out in space. The defensive tackles and DNs is not going to be getting a lot of sacks. You're not going to see a lot of 25 sacks or 20 sack seasons because guys are not going to be taking 7-step drops. So they're going to be hitting the running back and getting them out in space more. So that's why you want to take running backs and get them on your dynasty team now to catch passes before this hit. And you got guys that just run the ball, right? And which is fine because it's 9 ways to skin a cat. You could be a David Montgomery where you get all the green zone touches, or Derrik Henry, you don't catch passes. But I want a guy who's catching passes and getting green zone work. And Rashad White is one of those guys. Dollar Bill says Keaton Mitchell types. Yes. Keaton Mitchell's type. I don't believe that Rashad White is that Keaton Mitchell is like these explosive guys, these backup explosive guys. That's like Devonta Aine. I believe Keaton Mitchell is that type. Now, we got to hope that he comes back good off that knee injury, but that's what I would call Keaton Mitchell, Devonta Aine type. The type. So, guys, when I played high school football, none of the big schools like Carolina, because I'm from North Carolina, none of the big schools like Carolina and NC State was recruiting me. All the D1 small schools like App State, Elon, Walford, those schools was recruiting me because they the only one that wanted the small running backs. And all of a sudden it changed. The NFL and college football changed. The 230-pound running back is too slow. He ain't too slow, but that's not what a game is at. They need guys who can catch passes and can get tough yardage too. You can come in as a committee back, but now the running back field has changed. You don't need to be the big guy to take 30 carries like Derrik Henry anymore. So that's what I call Keaton Mitchell and Devonta Aine, that type. Yes, sir, brother. I'm trying. Guys, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. All right, guys, this is going on to my number 7 guy. My number 7 guy is Jonathan Taylor. Now, listen. Jonathan Taylor is very volatile. I believe that his body is beat up, but that doesn't mean that he can't be a good fantasy football player because he doesn't need to play all 16 or 17 games. He just needs to be there for the majority of the games in the playoffs. Now, if he's not there in the playoffs, that's okay too. So you got to move forward sometimes. But this guy, when he's healthy, he's going to get the green zone touches. They're not going to put too much on AR, but AR is going to snipe him a little bit. But I still like Jonathan Taylor at the right ADP. Last year, I didn't draft him, and to me, it worked out. Sometimes guys it's the lesser of two evils. Like, the guy might be a good fantasy player, but I don't want to deal with all the bull crap that comes with that. So that's why I faded Jonathan Taylor, and I won leagues because of that. I ended up picking up Kyle Williams in some league because I didn't want to deal with a Jonathan Taylor who I know who's been volatile in the past. So sometimes it ain't about what a guy's done. Is sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm not willing to deal with that. And I go to a relationship. Say it's this beautiful girl, but you know she got an attitude. She may have beautiful kids. You might have a bad girl and one of the prettiest girls in the world, but do you want to deal with that bad attitude? No, I'd rather go down and deal with something that I want to deal with, that I'm going to get the expectations that I want out of the relationship. And whatever happens, I'm okay with it. And you might end up go for a 30-year marriage and it hit. So I always compare fantasy. That's the way I play fantasy. That's why everybody want me to bring up analytics. I bring up ox and razor. Simple. I'm not dealing with no running back and trying to, oh my God, come on, Jonathan Taylor, I need 40 points. And he go down there. You talk, man, I lost. Jonathan Taylor, man, let me down. Guys, he's a running back. He's a running back. They gonna get hurt. They not God. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get hurt. It's the part of the game. That's why I believe they should be paid different. So I like Jonathan Taylor. I'm not riding him, or pause, but I'm not like trying to say he's a negative player. Don't pick him up. But I just want you to know what you're getting if you draft him on your team. That's why I'm bringing his value down to number 7. He's not in the top 5 to me. And he gets passes, but not that many passes. All right, guys, let's move on to my number 6 guy. I'm out of water, but it's okay. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it moving. My number 6 guy is Kyren Williams. Yes, guys, Kyren Williams. Let me tell you about Kyren Williams. They will draft another running back. He's not going to get the full 100% workload. He probably won't even get the workload that he got this year. The reason is because of what happened with Todd Gurley. Sean McVay is not running another running back and paying another running back and running them into the ground, right? He's not doing it. So what he want is a committee, but he do want a honey spot guy. And what I call Kyle Williams Pauls is a honey spot guy. He's a guy that's going to get the green zone, more the green zone touches, and he's going to catch a lot of passes. But they will bring a running back who can be fantasy valuable at times. And, it's not going to be no Darrell Henderson. It's going to be somebody that they draft. So just be careful of that. Kyren Williams is a top 12 running back, but he's not going to get the full workload. But we don't care about that because we know there are split backfields, and you want to get the guy who's going to get the honey touches. And Kyren Williams is going to be the honey touch guy. Nobody, I don't believe it's a guy that's going to come in and take his honey touches. Who's going to be getting more goal line touches than Kyren Williams? Kyren Williams is going to be catching about 60 to 70 passes in that offense that Sean McVay has, that he runs fantastic, and with a Matthew Stafford. And also he's going to be getting some goal line touches, about 70 to 80% of the goal line touches. So I love Kyren Williams. Pick him up at the right ADP. Again, I'm not giving ADPs out because we ain't even went through the draft yet. That's why it's called way too early rankings. All right, let's move on to my number 5 guy. My number 5 guy, and it's Jahmyr Gibbs. Yes, guys, Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, listen, I told a lot of you not to draft Jahmyr Gibbs last year early because he was volatile and he wasn't going to be getting all the touches. And that proved until David Montgomery got hurt, and then he went off, and then he had a nice role. Sometimes you have to trade for a player because if you draft him, he can pull your team down. There was a lot of players, like if you had DJ Moore and you drafted him, you probably didn't make it to the playoffs because he played so bad early with the type of scheme that they was in with Justin Fields. But if you traded for DJ Moore at the second half and the third quadrant or the fourth quadrant, he was good for you. So I believe some players, and you will see that with rookies, don't necessarily draft them guys early. Trade for them before they hit. That's why you watch fantasy football content. Because if you try to draft them and you play them and they done you're gonna get disgusted with them, and you won't be able to look past that and how to play on your team when it's time for you to start playing them. So Jahmyr Gibbs was the guy that if you traded for in the middle of the season, you was good. If you held on to him and you could still make the playoff, that was good. So that's that type of player. But Jahmyr Gibbs, guys, is going to be awesome. Detroit, I think they're going to win a Super Bowl. They got a great offensive line, so I love running backs. I will be doing a video on offensive linemen, but they got one of the best offensive lines who's going to support big-time running backs. They tough, so that offensive line is tough. They got Jared Goff right now as the quarterback who's going to get the ball out quick because he's not a mobile quarterback. So that's more targets for Jahmyr Gibbs. And I just like the head coach. He's a tough guy. So his running backs are going to try to score rushing touchdowns when they get to the goal line. So I love Jahmyr Gibbs, guys. Make sure you pick up Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's move on to my number 4 guy. And guys, I got a couple honorable mention guys that I want to talk about too before we get off of this video. But my number 4 guy is Saquan Barkley. And I know a lot of you not going to like that. I need to go get me some water because I'm sick, guys. Don't feel that great, but it's okay. My number 4 guy is Saquon Barkley. Now, listen, Saquon Barkley, guys, I'm looking at his projection. He's probably going to go to the Los Angeles Chargers or the Cowboys, somewhere where he's going to get bell cow. It's very few bell cows. Now, the next guys that I'm going to talk about, they all like They getting 90% of all the touches. The other guys that I mentioned, some of them guys wasn't getting all the touches, but they were still going to be really good. Then the rest of these guys that I'm going to talk about, they're going to get all the touches. Saquon Barkley is going to catch 60 to 70 passes. He's going to get 100% of the goal line work. This guy's a league-winning player because nobody expects that from him right now before he get traded or he gets picked up from that type of team. So right now is the time to go buy low. A lot of you didn't understand. You don't see right now. Even some of my subscribers, y'all are learning. I had a guy that talked about Occam Razor, and he said, "TD, you're an Occam Razor guy. You keep it simple." And I'm like, I looked it up. I'm like, you're right. So when I talk about Saquon Barkley, y'all like, when TD he did this, who cares what he did? Nobody cares. Thank you, babe. Nobody cares what he did in the past. It's about going forward. If a guy is still young and he's explosive, but he had a bad season on a bad team, you got to be able to see that to know who to pick the guy up going into his next season. So that's what it's about, guys. Saquon Barkley is still awesome. You look at him, look at his PFF rating. He still make people miss. It just people was in the box. Wasn't nobody backing up from the Giants. The Giants had a bad season. And remember again, Daniel Jones was one of my worst misses that I had ever in my career. But it is what it is. I still believe in Daniel Jones. He still can play. But Saquon Barkley is a great buy low. Nobody's on him right now. Make sure you pick him up. Okay. So let's go on, guys. Let's move on to my number 3 guy. Y'all gonna disagree with me with this player. And it's gonna be CMC. Yes, guys, CMC. And I'm gonna tell you why CMC is number 3. Guys, it's mileage. So some of these other guys, I would have had them closer to the top, but they older. The older you get, I'm just gonna kind of fade you out a little bit. So guys, don't draft. If you draft CMC and he get hurt, it's nothing. You shouldn't even make a comment about it. I don't think he's that great of a player where if you don't pick him, you will not win. I don't think he's gonna be at 80%. If you got him 80%, if you got CMC on your team, you're gonna win 80% of the championships, right? If you do the data and say if you had CMC on your team, 80% of those teams won the championship. I don't believe he's that type of player. Not in full PPR. Not anymore. I faded CMC in every single league that I had. I took Tyreek Hill instead of CMC, and I won some championships. Out of 17 leagues, guys, I went to 6 championships, and I didn't have CMC not on one of those teams. I made the playoffs in probably 9 of those leagues, and I didn't have CMC in not one of those teams. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player. I just can't deal. If he goes down, the value that I'm going to miss, I don't think I can rebound from it. That's just me. That's my 2 cents. Listen, it's 9 ways to skin a cat. You can draft CMC and win a championship. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. All right. So we got 2 more guys, and then I'm going to talk about some honorable mention guys. My next guy is Bijan Robinson. And the reason why I'm drafting Bijan Robinson, guys, is going forward. Going forward, you got to get this guy the ball 20 times a game. You draft him as a top 5 running back. So I know he's getting the ball. That's why Arthur Smith was fired. I don't think they would have fired Arthur Smith if he'd have used Bijan and Bijan would have balled out and they would have missed the playoffs by 1 or 2 games. I don't think they would have fired him. But it was a fireable offense for them to draft Bijan Robinson, and he's running jet sweeps with Jonnu Smith at the goal line. Now, I'm not even talking about for fantasy. Listen, even though it might be hurting to play in fantasy, I don't care if it works. That shit wasn't working. So you cannot, not play Bijan Robinson because you just want to run a jet sweep to a tight end that you picked up in free agent that ain't that good. So Bijan Robinson is going to touch the ball 20 times, and he's going to catch 60 to 70 passes. Guy's great out in space. He can play wide receiver. And he's going to be getting all the goal line carries. Now, Tyler Algier is a good running back, but that's why he got fired. That's why Arthur Smith got fired. You don't put Tyler Algier in and let him get more touches than Bijan Robinson going down the stretch. Now, early in the season, that's okay. But in the fourth quadrant, no, that doesn't make sense for a top 5 drafted running back. So, guys, I believe Bijan Robinson could be the number 1 running back overall next year. I think that Raheem Morris has hired a great offensive coordinator. I think he got a guy from the Rams. So I trust this offense. I trust him to be like a Kyron Williams and be better than the Kyron Williams. All right, guys, going on to my number 1 guy, and it's Breece, not Breach. I call him Breach, like bleach, but it's Breece Hall, guys. Yes, Breece Hall. Guys, Breece Hall had 76 catches this year. This is a 225-pound running back that runs a 4.4. This guy actually might be 4.3, but this guy, and coming off a knee injury. So this guy's going to be 1 year healed from the knee injury, will actually be 2 years healed from the knee injury. This guy's going to be a phenomenal player. That's my number one running back because he's young. Now, I take running backs to get hurt with knee injuries when you're still young. Remember when Todd Gurley got hurt? He was great for 2 to 3 years, and then it became degenerate. That's what happens. So I'm willing to take Breece Hall over CMC because he's younger and he can heal quicker, and running backs that get a bunch of workload that's young is okay. So for the next couple years, I'm willing to draft Breece at the right position. I don't want to overdraft him, but I'm willing to draft him at the right position. All right, guys. So let's talk about a couple honorable mention guys that I couldn't get in the top 12. One of them is Alvin Kamara. Guys, Alvin Kamara is still going to catch a lot of passes. I can see him getting traded or picked up or dropped and then he go to the right team, right? So Alvin Kamara is going to catch a lot of passes. I think he's still a really good running back. He hasn't had a lot of work for his age, right? So I like Alvin Kamara. Another guy that I like is Aaron Jones. Now, Aaron Jones is not going to play all 16, 17 games, but the games that he does play, he's going to be good. They will probably pick up another guy and let A.J. Dillon go, which is fine. That's another guy that I missed on because I thought A.J. Dillon would have a better season. But Aaron Jones is a guy that I think is a league-winning type guy for the value that you can get. So I wouldn't mind having a 3 or 4 guys like an Aaron Jones and an Alvin Kamara. And then my next honorable mention guy is James Cook. And then you just play them according to how they playing. I'm not going to go guys, yeah, make sure you hit the like button. Let me see how many likes we got on this stream. I'm not going to depend on – I don't like depending on the running backs. I like to depend on the number one wide receiver because those guys get force feed. They force feed those guys with targets. That's the way the game is played now. They don't do it with the running backs anymore per se. Excuse me, guys. So, guys, these running backs – this is not set in stone. You don't have to draft these guys this way, but these are my top 12 guys. This is why I'm cutting edge. I might be one of the only few channels that got Breece Hall as number 1 over CMC. And I got a friend, he's on TikTok, follow him, it's called Fantasy Finest, and he talks about, he said, man, I'm going to convince you to draft CMC number 1. But I'm like, but why? Why would I take that risk just because of what he did last year? Like, he's a 28-year-old running back. He's not a 24-year-old running back that I'm saying I'm not drafting as number 1. He's a almost 30-year-old running back that I'm playing the numbers with. Everybody want to talk about analytics. The analytics says not to draft CMC. There's never been a running back to back number 1. There's been top 5 guys. Derrik Henry's been top 5 back to back, but he's never been the number 1 running back overall back to back. So I don't want to. I don't want to play those chances. CMC is amazing. He's a Hall of Famer, but I'm not playing those chances. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get ready to get out of here, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all be safe. I will be doing some lives more from my phone because that's a new feature, guys, where it's almost like shorts, but they lives. So it's going to be like vertical lives. They got this new feature on your phone. So I will be doing more lives like that, guys, and I will be doing some more way too early rankings on the wide receiver, tight end, and quarterback position. So, guys, y'all be safe. Peace.
E-Butter go crazy.